Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, aka Music City. We're the home of country music.
It is. Mm-hmm. It is. I didn't realize this.
The Grand Ole Opry.
I've heard of that.
Honky tonks and cowboy boots.
I've driven past them. I wouldn't go in a place like that.
Lots of people do.
Yeah.
Perhaps you're wondering why people are coming here in droves, what it's like to live here, and why Nashville? Why is it city? So what if you don't love country music? Could Nashville possibly be a place where you could live, love, flourish, and be happy? So this is what we're hoping to find out in this first edition of Nashville, the Nashville Life. That's what I'm calling it. And this is Nashville Life, a guide for relocations, because I'm a relocator.
And I've relocated.
And you've relocated, yeah. So we've come both from a long way away. I've come from Sydney, Australia, and you've come from, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
So we want to find out what it's all about, and hopefully that will help people who are tuning into this video, who find us somewhere on the World Wide Web, and who they might be asking the same question. You might be asking the same question. Nashville. I want to find out as much as I can before I make the move, before I make the biggest mistake of my life. That's what this is all about. So I've got some cheat sheet notes here because I want to really make this.
I can't see those.
Oh, that's okay.
We don't want to see these. No.
All right. So Nashville unicorns. You've heard of those, haven't you?
Oh yeah, Nashville. Yeah, they're not real, are they?
You know, you hardly see any of them. And you're a performer, I'm a performer, so you might say, hey, who here, put your hand up if you are born and raised in Nashville. Yeah. And you might find maybe one out of a whole room of people. It's not very much.
We were hearing that 20 years ago when I first moved to town.
Right.
I thought, where were all the natives?
Yeah, so it's funny. So there's a lot of people moving in. So supposedly up to 100 people are coming into Nashville every day, and that might be someone who's just been born here, but a whole bunch of people. Nashville natives are being outnumbered by people and the likes of this man today on the Nashville Life. I'll be talking to Ed Atlas, writer, media guy, family man, electric guitarist with the Velvet Dogs.
Yes.
Called Nashville's best classic rock cover band ever.
We are.
Ever.
We are, and we've given ourselves that particular title, and we prove it every time we get out.
Okay. All right. How do you prove it? What song do you play?
3 chords and a cloud of dust, as loud as we can get it. Distortion is
classic
every
rock.
Guitarist's friend.
Classic rock. Okay. Yeah. So do you?
Well, yeah, we don't
Not
do much.
headband.
We don't do much of the hair weaving around that kind of. Or maybe we do have hair weaves. I don't know.
Okay.
But we don't throw our hair around as much as we used to.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell.
Exactly.
So a hairband. You
Right.
once were a hairband, but no.
Back in the old days, yeah, we had that kind of a thing. But now but we're just guys like to get out and turn it up loud and play as loud as we can, and hopefully entertain the masses while we're doing it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so a big.
Do you like Alice Cooper, Aerosmith?
I do.
The Smithereens.
Yeah.
Even Carly Simon.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
classic rock.
We'll rough up a couple of her tunes a little bit.
Okay, I love that. Rough up her tunes. All right. Well, are you ready to go, Mr. Ed Atlas?
I guess so.
Okay,
There's nothing to hold on to, but I guess we're going to try the best we can. All right.
Ed, you moved to Nashville in what year?
1998. So, like I said a moment ago, 20 years here.
20 years.
Yeah.
1998. Okay.
I think so.
How's that move worked out for you so far?
I guess it has worked out okay. We moved here, thought it would be 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. And I guess we're still on the 3 to 5 year plan, but we just haven't found the jumping off point yet.
The 3 to 5 years. That's,
yeah.
20 years later.
20 years later, we're still here, and we've and it's home. So it's
okay.
We thought it was going to be a little transition point, but I guess it was the destination point.
All right. Well, this is going to be good. Let's dig a bit deeper. So I'm curious, what prompted the move to Nashville in the first place? Like, where were you living? What were you doing?
My wife and I, we were in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm Louisville native. She's from southern Indiana, and so kind of the natural place for us to be. And a job opportunity came up for me down here, and it was strictly business. We thought, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's go. Nashville was just, the gears were just starting to turn, or the wheels were just starting to turn. Lower Broadway was happening a little bit, but it was in fits and starts.
Did that still have boarded up buildings down there when you arrived?
Not too much. There may have been a couple, but at that particular point in time, well, the Hard Rock Cafe just came in. That was a big deal.
Okay.
There was a NASCAR Cafe, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And the NASCAR Cafe shut down after a bit, but as anybody who's been to Nashville in the last few years, there have been plenty of places to fill that void. It's it is a Wild Horse Saloon was just starting up right about that time, so we came. I guess we came on down here and everybody followed me. So
it seems that's the way,
yeah.
right? Okay. All right. I'm wondering what was happening in Nashville that made you decide to stay living here? Like, it was 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
But it just stretched out.
It was strictly again. It was all work related.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah, we my wife and I, we were both working down here, but within a year we were both doing different things than what we originally had come down here to do.
Is that right?
Yeah. So we were but it just everything just led to another, and here we stayed. We found a great house in a great up-and-coming neighborhood.
Where was your first house that you
First
lived
house
in?
was in Poplar Creek Estates in Bellevue.
That's a great part of town.
Yeah. And it's still a really affordable place to live, and it's good access to a lot of to everything. But it's a largely we moved in, had a brand new house, and it was beyond anything that I ever thought I would have at a
compared
price
to
compared to
Louisville even?
Compared to what I ever thought that I would live in.
Okay.
And it was just an incredible home, and it was out at Highway 100 and Highway 70 out in that area, near Chaffin's Barn.
Near Chaffin's Barn.
Near Chaffin's
yes.
Barn. So if anybody is doing their research on Nashville, if you look up Chaffin's Barn and the Loveless Cafe and
Love the Loveless Cafe.
Yeah.
I've got a fly swatter.
Oh yeah, from the Loveless Cafe, really?
Yep, and I've got to get a new one too.
Yeah,
I'm going to give them as closing gifts, those fly swatters.
All right, there you go.
My real estate clients.
Even those places have changed since then. But when we moved in,
Yeah.
if I played golf, I always say I lived like 2 or 3 golf shots from strokes from Chaffin's Barn.
Okay,
But
close.
I don't play golf much. So anyhow, there was nothing else there. It was the Loveless Cafe. I'm sorry, Chaffin's Barn and a gas station, and a bunch of fields, a bunch of wide open fields with a highway running through them. And now it's wall-to-wall retail out there.
Is that right?
So it's
Wow.
it's big changes and lots of new developments. And as I'm sure, if you've done your research, and as you being a realtor, you know all about those spots.
It's all about research.
Yep.
But Nashville is totally growing, so I want to know what neighbourhoods in Nashville have you lived in, and where are you living now? So you were in Bellevue.
Yeah, this is our second house. About 5 years ago, we moved to Stonebridge Park, which is still basically Bellevue. If you are looking at the map, Stonebridge Park is near Warner Parks. It's basically Highway 100 and Old Hickory Boulevard in the Bellevue area.
So that's west,
southwest.
southwest.
Off of Vaughn Road.
If you're looking at Nashville as a clock, I always like to look at it as a clock so people can sort of get the
About
picture.
7 or 8 o'clock.
7 or 8 o'clock. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and
is it like 25 minutes to downtown?
Yeah, about 25, 30 minutes. I mean, if you're living out there and you're working downtown and you got to be at work at 8, you probably want to leave it a little bit after 7, just to be safe.
Right. It used to be a 20-minute town to get anywhere. So you've been in the one area. You love that area so much.
Yeah, it works for us. I think one of the great things about Nashville, though, is that I've noticed since we've been here, it is the neighborhoods. It was basically a big country town. Over the years, I've been coming to Nashville quite a bit. I was here for business quite a bit right out of college back in the middle of 1980s. And so it was here several times a year for several years. And to see it now compared to then, there's no comparison. It's two different cities.
Well, let's talk about that. The cranes in Nashville, all this new construction, revitalisation is happening. I've talked to a few people who've been in Nashville for a lot longer, and they've seen it when downtown was just boarded up. It was a place that you never wanted to go to.
Right.
But now it's like it's all happening there. That's the tourist centre, and there's just so many great bars and honky-tonks and amusements down there, right?
Yeah.
So it's transforming before our eyes. It is a neighbourhood. It's pocket by pocket, neighbourhood by neighbourhood. Pros and cons. Obviously, the biggest downside would be traffic. That's what we're having to struggle with at the moment, right?
Yeah.
With all the growth, our wonderful little 20-minute commutes have gone. What is especially good about Nashville, as far as your opinion?
First of all, I think you've got to put the traffic in perspective. You've got 3 major interstates that go through the city. A lot of cities, they have 1 or 2 interstates that run through the city, and maybe a third that, dead ends in the city. But you've got 3 major routes that go right through the city, and there's really no way to get around that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, that's one of the reasons that Nashville has experienced such growth. You've got these roads that put such a high percentage of the population within a fairly easy few-hour drive from a pretty neat city that still has incredible value as far as I'm concerned, as far as housing.
What you can get for your money.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
how you can live.
I think now you go into the city center, and some of these high-rise condos are going up. I mean, those are very expensive places to live.
They're not.
They're
not me.
But right. But on the other hand, if the people who want to live there, if you're an empty nester or if you're young and just starting out, you don't have a whole lot of responsibility there.
I know people who love living in those
exactly.
condos. They love it.
So you have the trade-off.
Do you like a bit of a yard, mowing a yard?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we've got the yard.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that. Anyway, but.
Well, let's talk about what was especially good. We haven't gone into what you absolutely love. Was it just that you can get a lot of bang for your buck here, housing-wise? You can get a lot of lifestyle in Nashville.
Yeah, I think Nashville has done a great job of preserving its identity, its calling card, Music City. I think that they've done a great job of using that to market itself.
Yeah.
The tourism business here is crazy. I'm going to jump off a little bit here.
Please jump.
Yeah,
Where are you jumping to?
Well, no, it was just we don't go downtown very much, but we were there. If it was Memorial Day last year, we happened to be in that area for another reason, and we thought, well, let's just go downtown and see what's happening. My wife and my son and I, and we were struck by just all the new high rises that were going up and all the cranes, and they were just we didn't recognize it. And if you go downtown, like I do, every 6 months maybe, for the last 5 years, every time you go down there, you see something different. Yeah. And as I was driving out here today, I went through downtown, and it was just, it's not what it used to be. When I first came to Nashville, you could go downtown on a Sunday night or a Monday night, and it was dead. There's nothing going on.
Not anymore.
You go downtown on a Sunday night or a Monday night now, and I mean, it's loud and it's raucous, and it's bright and it's vibrant and it's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can talk now about finding work in Nashville. You rediscovered yourself, like you took on a brand new career. What have you found about Nashville as an employing city? Like we've got really low employment.
Yeah, there's a lot of work here. I mean, I think depending on who you are and what you're after, if you want to just, as they say, go out on a limb, I think it's a safe place to go.
The tree trimmer.
Yeah.
Going out on a limb.
Right. Exactly. if you want to just roll the dice, we'll say that. Yeah. And I think your chances of coming here and finding some meaningful work soon are pretty good. This is becoming a 24-hour town. You may not get exactly what you want, but you will find something, and you'll probably find something that pays fairly well. On the other hand, if you're a professional, the corporate core here is growing and thriving. It's been established for a long time. Especially, the music industry is one thing, but the healthcare industry here is huge. Publishing is a big thing here as well.
Yeah.
And then all the other things that roll around that in terms of financial services and so forth. Yeah. I heard real estate's big in this town.
Real estate is big in this town.
Yeah.
I heard something. So healthcare is our number one employer. And I just did a little bit of data digging today. And so this was, according to the National Healthcare Council industry report, the healthcare industry, it's called Music City, but should it be called Healthcare City? Because there are more healthcare jobs than anything, employing 249,345. Now that's in 2014. I couldn't find the 2018 report, but it was up 18.14% compared to the previous study. So it just is growing. 16 publicly traded companies, remember this is 4 years ago,
it's more
providing
than
500,000 jobs and $73 billion in revenue globally. That is huge. So that's the number one industry, healthcare. Guess what's number two?
Tourism.
Yes, tourism.
Do I get a prize?
Yeah, high five.
There we go. Good.
Yeah, tourism. So, we have won a slew of awards. Friendliest city we won, a few years back. Number one destination, number one place where millennials are finding work. Rada, rada, rada. It's a crazy place. Nashville is just it city.
Yeah, my friends and I, we used to run off to New Orleans for weekends every now, a couple times a year just to go hang out and do that kind of a thing. And we noticed a few years ago that there were people, when we get into New Orleans, there were people going the other way.
Right.
And that was what I noticed.
That's a fun city too.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed. Last year when we were downtown, our little spontaneous, afternoon in Nashville. Just all the folks from out of town that were here. In fact, one of the things that we've done, my family and I, is that over the last year, we've gone to downtown Nashville a couple, 3 times just to
a little outing.
Stay in one of the hotels.
I love that.
And they do. They've got a lot of national, international class hotels that have gone up here in the last year or so.
And getting some more. Richard Branson's putting his Virgin stamp on Nashville in Music Row.
Right.
Okay. What about, perhaps you could share how you spend your weekends when you're not at work? Because you're a family man with a kiddo, so you sometimes go down to Broadway or down to the center of downtown and go into a hotel and stay the night.
I like the change of seasons, and it doesn't necessarily mean the meteorological seasons or anything like that. Just, whether when he's in school, around his activities, then summertime activities. I like all of that. And one of the things that you'll find in Nashville is there are the change of seasons here. You do have 4 distinct seasons, so I guess that is kind of a thing. Last year was really interesting. It was we hit a really cold spell. Everybody's moving to town is going to like to hear about that. But I was driving down Highway 100, and I looked over at this pond in the Belmead area that I've driven past for 20 years, and there were kids out there on their skates playing hockey. So that was a first.
It froze. The pond froze.
And it froze to the point where they could go out and play ice hockey.
Wow.
And I hadn't seen that in the entire time we were here.
Is that right?
There. So my point being is that in the summers here are long and hot. So you got everything. Of course, now we're entering probably the best season of the year.
I love fall too.
And fall's excellent here because the parks, the hills, the hiking, the waterways around here make it a pretty neat place to be this time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely beautiful. All right, so I've got some rapid fire questions now, Ed, just for fun. Complete this sentence. Are you ready?
No.
Go on.
All right.
Oh, now, I've got an extra question. Remind me at the end.
Okay.
That question about what you'd do if you were going to brand Nashville. Okay?
Okay.
Remind me about that.
Got it.
All right, so here's these questions. My favorite type of pizza is?
Pepperoni, mushroom, from Pizza Perfect.
Oh, from Pizza Perfect. Now, give it a plug. Whereabouts is that? Which
They have a couple of locations. They are locally owned. They have a location, I think, on 21st Avenue down there by Vanderbilt, and then one out in Bellevue near where I live.
Pizza Perfect. Okay, got to go and try their pepperoni and
Mushroom.
Yeah. Okay. Complete this sentence again. When
Okay.
I'm showing people around Nashville, I always try to make sure we go see.
Got to go downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, it's it is really something to see.
Do you cross the bridge? Do you go?
Yeah,
across the
go
road?
walk across the bridge, or we'll just park downtown and walk around, anything like that.
Okay.
And then if we want to step away from the non-touristy areas, I'll make the drive out to Franklin.
Beautiful. I love that
Yeah.
too. My favorite place to go hiking in Nashville is.
Yeah, up and down my driveway. It's steep enough hill for me.
Okay, beyond that.
Beyond that, probably would be Warner Parks.
Warner Parks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that too. My favorite neighborhood in Nashville is.
Well, I'm in Stonebridge Park, Bellevue area, so I'm partial to that.
You love that.
Yeah.
Stonebridge Park.
Bellevue is
Bellevue.
Yeah.
Okay. 3722.
37221 is Bellevue. Now, Stonebridge Park, that's actually a Franklin address, but my cell phone hits the Bellevue Tower.
Okay.
So it's not out in downtown. Franklin or anything like that.
All right. Tell me why you love that neighborhood. Why that's your favorite neighborhood.
It's home to me.
Okay.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Good grocery stores.
Yeah, I mean
Is it friendly down
yeah.
there?
No, they're nasty people. You don't ever want to go stay. Yeah.
I've heard that's
We're very-
what Nashville people are trying to do
We're
now.
we're very territorial out there. We don't want anybody coming out to see us.
Yeah.
No, it was very a sleepy residential area when we moved here, but it has grown. The great thing about the Bellevue area, if you're shopping around, is that it really is. It's in a great spot with its proximity to downtown, to Belmead, to Green Hills, Brentwood, Franklin.
Okay.
Tough to be, and the values out there.
And plus,
Pretty strong.
you're close to that enormous park, Percy Warner
You're
Park.
close to Percy Warner Park and
Yeah.
Pizza Perfect.
And Pizza Perfect. They
And-
had the full moon pickin' party down there.
They
at
got the
Percy
full moon.
Warner.
Yeah, and I can hear that from my front yard at night,
You
which
can.
is really neat. Yeah.
Oh, you've probably heard me singing a few bluegrass
Oh, is
songs.
that was you?
That probably was me.
I got it. Yes, of course.
Okay. My favorite place to go fishing in Nashville is. You a fisherman?
No, I prefer to just order off a menu
Okay.
for fish.
All
Yeah.
right. Have you ever gone fishing in Nashville?
Not in Nashville, no.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Moving along.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I
Hey.
wish Nashville had a. Is there anything that's
That-
missing here for you? Nashville.
I
Statue of
think-
Liberty, maybe?
I think early on when we moved here, there needs to be a little bit more of corporate development in the Bellevue area, and I'd like to
It's
see.
getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
A little bit more corporate development in the Bellevue area, and I'd like to see a little bit more of the authentic honky tonks out in the suburbs.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, Ed wants an authentic honky tonk to come out to Bellevue.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Nashville's best place to go eat is Pizza Perfect?
I'm gonna stay in my home territory. If I had to go out for my last meal, I'll say Antonio's again out in Bellevue.
Antonio's.
Classic Italian. It's been there since before I got to town.
Okay, classic
It is-
Italian, Antonio's,
yeah.
Bellevue.
Another place is Mayor Bull's.
Oh.
Mayor Bull.
I love
yeah. You gotta. That's out in Maryland Farms area.
Fancy.
Of Brentwood. Fancy, but
Fancy.
yeah, but you can sit back and have a good southern stiff cocktail in there.
And a good steak too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very classy. My favourite place to go and have a good coffee. Now, this is new for Nashville. The coffee
Yeah.
when I first arrived.
Right.
I visited here in 1996. I don't even think they had one espresso coffee machine in the whole of Nashville.
They didn't have a lot of that, but I think if I was going to go to one place for coffee here in town, besides I can't take the 8 o'clock coffee that I have in my house, right? I got to go out somewhere and
Okay,
get some.
Of course.
The Well is really nice.
The Well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
I love The Well. They
Yeah.
actually take good care of their coffee. They love it.
They do. They
Yeah,
do a really good
they
job
do.
out there.
They've got pride of workmanship.
It's a Nashville chain, and there are just about 3 or 4 of them around town.
Yeah,
So,
I've been to the one in Brentwood.
Yeah.
Very nice. What I think Nashville does best is
Be itself.
be itself.
I think the thing about Nashville,
A drink in town with a music problem?
yeah, I think the thing about Nashville is what is so neat about it is that when you do go downtown to the honky tonks, there are a lot of tourists in those places.
Mm-hmm.
But it is authentic stuff down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And great music. People will say
Yeah.
that's the best, even though they're just seeing some people probably
Yeah.
singing for tips. It is outstanding, world-class music.
Yeah, there are so many good players in this town, and there's a law in Nashville that if you're a middle-aged guy, you have to be in a band. So that's
Why you did it.
Yeah. So anyway,
In under 30 seconds, give us a rave about all the things you can think of that you love about Nashville. Ready, set, go.
convenient. I can get to any place I need to, anywhere in town. Don't let the traffic fool you. I can get to any place in this part of the country within a few hours that I need to be in. Got easy access to the interstates. I can be any place in the country or any place in the world because we've got a great airport that's not too terribly busy. So that's another thing. So mobility is a big thing about Nashville. Food is a big thing about Nashville. The barbers suck in Nashville. So,
Right.
so be forewarned before you get here.
Very heavy on the shaver.
But the chefs are good.
Yeah.
I think, I hate to be cliche in the whole bit, but the music scene here is pretty serious.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And gin. I love gin.
Gin. G-I-N?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a local ginnery that you like?
Corsair's really good.
Corsair. Okay. Good.
Check them out.
Right. And Ed, if you were going to brand, because this is your job, you are a branding and content, copywriting, media sort of a guy. This is you right now. You used to run a magazine. What would you do to brand Nashville if this was you and your brainchild?
I just said it a moment ago. In any of these things, don't manufacture yourself into something you're not. Just be honest and true to what you are and be yourself. Nashville is the music city. And everything, while it's not everything Nashville is, everything revolves around that. Mm-hmm. Don't change it.
Right. Nashville, be yourself.
Yeah.
You can be yourself in Nashville.
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got the neighborhoods to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Ed, what recommendations or words of advice can you give to anyone thinking about buying a home in Nashville? Take this any direction you want.
I think do not get overwhelmed by all the options that are in this town. Look at all the various neighborhoods, and there are literally probably about 10, 12, 15, maybe even 20 that you will look at. Trust your judgment. The ones that appeal to you the most, put those at the top of your list. And don't get sidetracked because you'll go crazy if you do.
Okay, that's very good advice. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed this little conversation with Ed Atlas, relocated here to Nashville 20 years ago, rediscovered himself, went from one job to a new job in media.
Yep, at Atlas Media.
Ed Atlas Media. Give a plug,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I work with small businesses and entrepreneurs who they know they need help with their messaging, but they're not quite sure how to do it. So I work with folks to help them find their voice and tell their story.
I
at
love
Atlas
that.
Media.
Helping people find their voice and telling their story. Okay, that's great. Well, now this is all about helping this little video that you've helped me on. This is actually video number 1. And I hope that as a potential relocator, if you're looking for trying to find your place, everyone's trying to look for their place, their people. I hope that you find that something about what Ed said has rung true to you. And then you will find your place in Nashville. I certainly have found my place in Nashville, and it's a spectacular city, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
There is something for everyone, including you.
You.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be signing out now. This is Zelda Sheldon, licensed realtor with Nashville Real Estate Rockstars at Village. And you can reach me. I will put in the information underneath this video. We're going to put it onto YouTube. I'll put my ways that you can contact me. But if you're wanting to reach out, a good way, an instant way, is just going to our website, which is www.nashvillerealestaterockstars.com. Reach out to me if you want any information. I get very nerdy about market reports. I produce a couple each month, and that will help you determine what your budget is and where in Nashville is going to work for you if you're purchasing. But it would be my awesome pleasure to help you become the savviest buyer or seller in the Nashville real estate market. So I'm just going to be wishing you now, we always end it, peace, love, real estate, okay? So wishing you peace, love, real estate. Bye. Oh, this way.